If you think you've tried coconut cake before, just wait because this version is in a whole new level. Let's make the moistest, the creamiest, and the most coconutty cake for these Christmas holidays. I'm Violet, let's cook with me. Let's start with a dough. Rub 480 grams of sifted flour with 250 grams of butter. The butter should be at room temperature because cold butter won't rub well with the flour. Do this until crumbs form. I want to make sour cream base layers, that's why I add 200 grams of sour cream to the crumbs. It's very interesting with eggs here since I don't need two whole eggs for this recipe. I will take one egg and one yolk, which I separated from the white in advance. Add one pocket of vanilla sugar for flavor and a pinch of salt as always so that the sky doesn't fall on the ground. That's it. Yes, add and add simple sugar to the dough. Since all the sweetness of the cake will come from the cream, if I add sugar to the layers as well, the cake will be too sweet, bordering on disgusting. This recipe is prepared according to the principle of Eclairs. The cake layers have a minimum sweetness, but the filling has more. After the dough thickens, I knead it very carefully with my hands until it is smooth and form it into a ball. Its consistency reminds me of kinetic sand, very delicate, somewhat crumbly but stick together and hold its shape. To stabilize it, I put the dough into the fridge for 1 hour. During this time, we will prepare the coconut base for the cream. The coconut base in the cream will be custard. To do this, I pour sugar and cornstarch into a bowl with a thick bottom. Stir them a little with a whisk so then the starch breaks up and there will be no lumps. Then I break 2 eggs into the bowl. Oops, what a surprise, a double egg. But it's okay, the starch will do its job. I hope the second one will be without surprises. Phew, thank God. Before continuing, stir the mess well with a whisk until smooth. Then gradually pour 750 milliliters of milk to the mess. Pour it in and at the same time stir quickly so that all the ingredients will be mixed together very well. The starch shouldn't be visible in the mixture at all. Now we are ready to cook our custard. I put the mixture on a medium heat and stir constantly so that it doesn't burn to the bottom of the bowl. When the mess is heated well, add 100 grams of white chocolate and stir until it will completely dissolve. As soon as you see that the cream is starting to thicken, put 100 grams of desiccated coconut and quickly begin to stir until completely thickened. This is how we will make the coconut base. Cook it for additional 2-3 minutes after it has completely thickened and then remove it from the heat. Pour the base into another bowl, cover it with a food wrap in contact and leave to chill completely. While the coconut base is cooling, our dough has stabilized and is ready to use. Firstly, I divide it into 3 equal parts. Then divide each of these parts into 3 more equal parts for a total of 9 pieces. I begin to roll out each piece on a separate sheet of parchment paper. Do it very thinly around the perimeter with a rolling pin. Thin layers will soak up the cream very good in the final coconut cake. To cut out the layers, I use a little bit of diameter of 24 centimeters. You can use a cutting board for this or simply the top of round metal baking pan. Gather the pieces of dough that are left over into another bowl and form a 10th layer. Before baking, pierce the layer with a fork all over the surface so that it doesn't inflate and form voids during baking. Let's repeat the material we've already learned. I place a piece of dough on a parchment paper, roll it out into a round and cut out the desired shape. Be sure to pierce the dough with a fork before baking. I recommend forming all the layers before baking them because they will cook before you know it. I was very interested in this recipe and had wanted to try it for a long time. And when better to try it than at Christmas? It's a perfect time to make this truly wintry cake. Try it yourself. I think you guys will love it. Bake at 200 degrees for 6-7 minutes, no more than that, so they don't start to burn. They should be a nice medium brown color. My sour cream layers are ready, 11 in total. By now the coconut base has cooled completely and we can finish making the cream. Whip 300 grams of room temperature butter with a hand mixer on a high speed. Do it for about 8-10 minutes until the butter increases nicely in volume. At this stage, we remind about our coconut custard base, and now all we need to do is whip it together with the butter. I do everything gradually so that there are no large pieces or lumps. Add a few spoons of the coconut base to the butter and whip well. Put a few more spoons and whip it again, and continue until the whole mass turns into smooth cream. This is how thick and fluffy my cream turned out, and now I can start assembling the cake. Now everything is so easy. Spread a little cream on the bottom of the plate so that the cake sticks firmly to it. Then divide the cream between all 10 layers. If it will be easier for you, you can divide cream evenly on 9 plates so you can be sure that you have enough for all the layers. I'm not going to soak any of them with anything because they are super thin and there is no point. Lightly press down the layers after stacking them to make the cake more even and prevent voids inside. I also spread cream on the sides and top of the cake, smooth it evenly over the surface so that there are no bumps or unevenness. For decor, I left a little desiccated coconut, about 70 grams, and now I will sprinkle it over the whole cake. Sprinkle the sides and top of the cake thickly with coconut, as if it were freshly fallen snow. This coconut wonder will be the highlight of your holiday table. This cake is incredibly soft, extra moist, mega coconutty, and very easy to make. I urge you to try it and enjoy its incredible taste. That's all for today. More recipes next week. See you next time. Big hug, yours Violet.